Well, hello everyone, and welcome to HoGaLe's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable, and you will see I have Lena with me.
Hola, from Buenos Aires.
From Buenos Aires. So in a way, she is sort of still a bit sort of down under, but she's just crossed an ocean or two.
Yes. But I'm sort of in a parallel universe in so many ways,
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, indeedy. So today, as you can see, folks, we've got a two-hander today. And it's nice to do one of these once in a while, because it does give a little bit more chance to go sometimes a little bit more in depth in some of the questions and stuff like that, and particularly as there is a lot of political weather at the moment. So there's that. So to give you guys a little kind of like overview, hopefully we'll be able to get everything in. We're going to start off in Kenya and Haiti, talking about that. Then we're going to look at the UK elections. I was planning to do it on my Thursday fry-up. I was planning to do it on my Thursday fry-up.
Yeah.
Ended up talking about Kate's portrait, and then that crashed my computer. The portrait was so bad.
Oh, no.
Lena, have you seen it on the front cover of Tatler? Oh,
No.
shocking.
It's always this way, though, with any major portrait. It's always a disaster and a controversy. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure I will.
Yeah, when you have a look, you'll just see. I mean, it's a bit like a waxwork, basically. It looks pretty
Yes.
pretty much like a
Wow.
waxwork.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things the artist said, I mean, bless her, she's been getting a lot of stick for it, but you think to yourself, how do they win these commissions? And she said, well, I had to try and take the likeness from photographs, which in of itself should tell you something as well, because it means maybe Kate is not in shape enough to either stand or sit. Yeah.
For hours and hours. Yeah.
Exactly, because all royal portraits, at least in part, are done in person. All of them, as far as I'm aware. This is the first way it's been done from photographs.
Okay.
Anyway, look, this is a little photograph.
Oh, wow.
But this is an illustration. Thank you. Oh, I'm not sure if it's going to zoom in.
Yeah.
So this is Lily James from Downton Abbey. Oh, it's on one of my old business cards. I did that from a photo. So if I can do that from a photo, why can't I have a royal commission as well? May as well.
There you go. Well, thank you for that, tribal woman. That's very kind of you.
Thank you so much. I'll click that up on the screen. Thank you so much, tribal woman. And what else do we have? So we're going to look to as well. Let's see what else we've got. We're going to be looking up at the ICC in Israel. We need to talk about that. And then we're going to look at some Trumpy bits. And of course, Nikki Haley. We'll get to her in a minute. And we'll see what the bard has to say about Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley. Talk about the embodiment of evil in a Chanel suit. I mean, just dreadful.
You know what? Oh, obviously, we're going to talk about Nikki Haley later, but folks, you may remember, if you cast your minds back, I'm not sure if you remember as well, Lena, but there was one time we read on Nikki Haley. I think it may have been me, you, and Lady G. And I think one of the things we said was what we noticed. We said it's fake. Do you remember we said her opposition is fake? It's not genuine.
Yes.
When we read the cards, we said there's something manufactured about it. Anyway, but we'll deal with Nikki in a minute. Are you ready to begin, Lena?
Okay.
Let's start. So the first question we're going to be dealing with, and this is coming from Nick Minks. Thanks so much for your question. So she said, Kenya's president, William Ruto, says his peacekeeping police force is expected to arrive in Haiti to help quell the growing gang violence in about 3 weeks. Will this help calm the situation or inflame? So Good question, don't you think? Yeah, good question.
Let's have a look here. And Haiti, it's such a complicated history, and it's just so sad. But the worst of their dictatorships under Baby Doc and all of that stuff were propped up by Western powers, the usual story.
Yeah.
Before they went into exile in Switzerland or whatever, leaving all the drama behind them.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it?
Okay, so Kenya in Haiti. Well, I've got two major arcana here, so I think they will have an impact. But, okay, here's the Hermit. And I think in this context, it implies they don't really understand local conditions. You know, they're in the dark. They're trying to shine a light. They're going for the right reasons, you know, to try and stabilize things, but they're in the dark. The world, and it's not that the world spends any time looking at Haiti. It doesn't, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But it's the same post-colonial syndrome that has led to all this, which is a global issue, and we should find compassion in our hearts for Haiti, because what happens to one happens to all. And I think this is one of the messages we're all being given at the moment, generally. So it might seem small and obscure, but it has bigger implications. I think they will steady things with this Knight of Pentacles. They'll steady things in the short term, because everything's so compressed. It's such a minute environment, depending how many are going. I think they will provide a stabilizing force, and then they'll leave again, you know, leaving this in their wake.
It's just grim, isn't it? It's just, as you know, whenever we read on Haiti, you know, as you know, folks, we just say what we see, and the cards are always difficult and complex. They're never straightforward. All right, so Haiti, what cards do I have? And I'm just using the classic deck today. I felt like I needed to do the Rider-Waite-Smith cards today. So here we are. Look, we've got the Emperor here that's showed up, and this can mean several things. This can mean obviously patriarchal authority, etc. This, of course, could be the president himself of Kenya helping out. What's his name again? President William Ruto. But this as well, let's not forget, the Emperor is synonymous with war and conflict as well, because this, of course, this is the Aries card. If you see here, there's the ram's head, and he is dressed for war. So this can also talk as well, sometimes more of the more difficult side of toxic masculinity, as it were. Or this can even talk about, you know, the wannabe dictators that have been overrunning, you know, the country for ages, and just like Lena says, cleaning up and you know, moving out. So this is complex, this energy. It's not just the help that's potentially coming, but it's also showing the dominant energy, because it's the first card out of what Haiti is essentially dealing with. If we look here in the obstacle position, look, we have the Seven of Wands fighting from the heel. I mean, is this not just Haiti itself in a way, just trying to fight to survive, to even be a workable country? We know that they've just had it really, really difficult, and they never get easy cards. If we look here, though, this is interesting. We've got the King of Pentacles here. I think this is speaking probably about, you know, a little bit of like the corruption, or people who fleece the country for money, just like you said, Lena. People skirting off to kind of, you know, Switzerland with Swiss bank accounts, you know, or, you know, the walls of their house stuffed with cash and all of this kind of stuff. But if I want to try to maybe take a more positive interpretation on this, it does, for me, it does show as well that there is a potential there. If they could get things under control, if this could manifest in its most positive form, and they could fight, you know, the gangs and stuff, maybe there could be future investment or stuff like that. But I think that's, I don't want it to be wishful thinking, but I think that's some ways off yet. Particularly when we see the next card here is the Five of Wands. So of course, look, no agreement, not knowing which way to turn, which direction to pull in. Everyone's pulling in different directions. This is the people, this is also the government, and this will also be the gangs as well, fighting and jostling for power. And then the outcome card, look at this, Seven of Cups, illusions and delusions. So it's just an element of you know, it's discombobulated. It's a discombobulated situation. It's good that Kenya is trying to help out and stuff, but how effective it will be for the overall thing, I'm not so sure, because it's not a very, you know, forthright card, if you know what I mean, where
no, not at all. And ironically, at the same time, another French colony, much closer to where I live, New Caledonia, is having riots because the government in Paris decided to change the electoral rules, making it harder for the indigenous people of New Caledonia to vote. Also, then the riots happened, quelle surprise, you know, and France is going, pourquoi, you know, you know, terrible treatment of
everywhere, isn't it? All this stuff. There's, like I said, that Pluto in Capricorn energy. It's just now we're seeing the obvious manipulation and shadiness of stuff going on. And Magister Tarot says Kenya is going because there is no way the US can, perhaps hoping to garner US trade / diplomatic favor. Yeah, perhaps there was that King of Pentacles in there, which would suggest as well, you know, money, finance, contracts and stuff. I suppose some help is better than none, but the cards weren't that great, were they, Lena?
That's right. And the real story behind it is France is continuing to punish Haiti for having a slave rebellion back in the day. And that's what it's still about.
Seems to be, doesn't it? Seems very much to be that they're just being punished. Oh, it's such a shame, but let's hope the situation improves. Okay, so as you guys know, if there wasn't any more to add to the various political dramas going on, Rishi Sunak has decided to call a snap election. Yeah. I have my little theories as to why that is. A lot of the pundits are dumbfounded because they're like, oh my goodness, you know, why is this happening? But let me just quickly read out some of the questions and then we'll get stuck in. So this is going to be a few more cards on this because it's more of a political read, especially as I wasn't able to do one on Thursday. So Nick's Mix says, so far Rishi Sunak provided so many jokes over the UK election. Does he honestly think he's going to win, or is he resigned to losing? From his rain-soaked look at the announcement of the election to his visit to the Belfast docks where the Titanic was built, the memes coming out are hilarious.
Yes.
And then Susie Hill was said, glad you're reading on the UK elections tonight. Can you also look at how the SNP will do in Scotland? Thank you. So Lena, let's do Tory, Labour, Tory, Labour, Dems, SNP, and let's just see how they do.
Well, maybe 3 cards on each if we're doing.
Thinking 3 cards. Let's do 3 cards on each. You read my mind.
We'll do the Tories first, will we?
Yeah. 3 cards on each. So we're going to do the Tories. Yeah. What are their?
Let's have a look at the Tories are the Conservatives. If you're not familiar with that term.
Yeah.
Oh, what fell out? Oh, the Queen of Cups. They need more than the Queen of Cups to save them.
Tories. How are they going to do?
Oh, well, look. What have...
oh, interesting cards. What do you have, Lena?
Yes, well, as I said, what flew out, the Queen of Cups. Their symbolic lid in this card has been slammed on their compassion. So while people are struggling in every sphere of normal life in the UK, they've been oblivious. And it's emotional, the reason that people will not vote for them. Again, I think it's going to be the big stick of Labor coming through. It'll be very direct. It'll be very clear. There's been endless reruns of the Tories, and it'll be very quick. Like, their names will fly away in the wind. You know, it'll be whoosh.
Yeah.
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 What did you get?
I'm going to read my cards and then give my opinion on the Tories afterwards.
Do that.
And then also as well, what's this here? Thank you so much for your donation. Bad Hair Day says, great to catch her down under live. Mary Fritz as well. Thank you so much. And then we've got a comment in already with Nikki Haley. So I'll click on that when we get to the Nikki Haley bit here. All right, what do I have? So here we are, the Tories. Surprise, surprise, all swords. So here we are. This is Rishi Sunak here, who's
the last hurrah.
The last hurrah. You know, some people have actually referred to this. They're calling it the kamikaze mission or the charge of the light brigade. So here's Rishi Sunak, like, you know, let's all just charge off the cliff together. I'm a billionaire. I don't really give a damn about this, and I'm just gonna just let rip. You know, cut all the. Throw the piss to the wind. I think he's really just like, I'm just done.
Yeah.
I think he's like, I'm just done.
I really think so. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, that's it. Come on. You know, we're all in it together. We all die together. Yeah. That's I think his whole thing. Best form of defense is attack. So he's kind of just going for it and going, what the hell? But the party itself is not sure. They're like, Rishi. Really? What are you doing? Yeah, a lot of people have expressed, apparently within the Tories have expressed shock and dismay. And then look at the outcome. Oh dear, Five of Swords, left abuse of power, battle on the battlefield. And look, and what happens here is that this person over here is so bad, the other people just walk away.
Yes, that's right.
You just walk away. So I think there are a lot of Tory MPs that are rejigging their CVs right now and probably applying for other jobs.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's look at Labour. Let's see how Labour's going to do. I like a 3-card pull. I do like a 3-card pull.
Yes. Oh God. So we're essentially reading on Starmer. Keir Starmer, the head of the Labour Party.
Yeah. He has about as much charisma as Kate's new portrait.
I didn't know. Which is none. Look, it's what I've got here. It starts with the 9 of Pentacles. He's out of touch with ordinary people. So even though he's in the traditional Workers' Party of Labour, he has no idea. He lives permanently in Disneyland. And he was named after one of the great Scottish socialists, so he's got no excuse. But he just doesn't get it. He's more egotistical than I thought, actually, with this. I thought he's got so much to be modest about, but no, he thinks he's leadership material. And I always feel with this king in this context that the throne is bigger than the man, you know, like he's not quite up to it. And that's another aspect that we all forget about with the 9 of Pentacles. Sometimes the robes are just too big. It's interesting that both those, and the Labour Party will then have to reinvent itself on the fly because
very, very, very interesting. I got different cards, but my middle card is sort of echoing yours as well. So if we look here, We get judgment.
Judgment.
Indeed. So literally it's going to the polls. Labour are really going to find out what people think about them or not. And again, this is going to be a judgment on Keir Starmer's leadership of the Labour Party and stuff like that. Some people say he's played a blinder, some people say otherwise, etc. But either way, this is the energy of things. We're going to find out, aren't we, in a matter of really what's going on. Kind of echoing Lena's card here. Look at this, the smug merchant, the 9 of cups in the middle. So again, this is the smug merchant. This can be a card of self-satisfaction, you know, wish fulfillment and stuff like that. So you could say maybe he does get his wish.
Yes.
But there is a whiff of arrogance and smugness to this card as well. So I think there, like Lena says, I think there's quite a bit more ego going on than he presents. I think he thinks rather highly of himself. And then if you see here, we've got the Knight of Wands. So at least there's going to be a bit of gusto. You know, he might actually, you know, I don't know what it is. It's not that he's not enthused. There's this strange nasality to his voice, which just seems to rob him of all charisma. Do you know what I mean? This nasality, his voice is not very moving, and oration is a big part of politics. But look, the passion is there. So I think Labour are feeling positive, and it's not a delusion. They have been consistent.
No, they will get in a landslide.
So it's looking like, yeah, he may get his wish. Let's take a look at the Lib Dems, and then we're going to look at the SNP and move on.
Okay, so the Lib Dems are the Liberal Democrats in the UK, and they've been a third-party force for quite some time now, haven't they?
Okay. Yeah, they have.
So let's have a look at the Lib Dems.
Although one of the many slurs against them, not many, but one of the slurs against them, because they were quite a small party, the Lib Dems for years could all fit into the back of a minibus. So,
yes.
And then they got popular, and then they lost it all.
Might come back exactly.
Again. What do you have, Lena?
Well, funny you should ask. It starts off pleasantly with the Temperance card, which is their shtick. That's their whole thing. The other two big parties are, you know, out of line, trust us, you know, here we go with Temperance. Unfortunately, look at this.
Yeah.
So it's like this has probably been their problem for the last 10 years, since before Brexit and all of that. People don't know what they stand for, and therefore I think people fill in the blanks a bit. But it's sorry, HoGaLe's. It's almost they're going to the dark side too on some level, because they haven't got the answers, so they blame each other, and that weakens any party. I think they'll do better than expected with the 3 of Cups. Just as a punishment vote sort of thing.
Yeah. And Lena, when I see that devil card as well, it literally makes me think of the deal they did with the devil going in with the Tories. Do you remember? They went in with the Tory coalition, and they've never recovered since.
No.
And I think they still have that taint on them. I think they still have that taint on them. The cards I get, so look, we got the Hermit here. So either way, whatever's going on, they're doing their research. So this says to me that the Lib Dems are being strategic in this election round. They know that they're not going to win, but they do understand they're probably going to be able to steal quite a lot of seats off the Tories if they do their homework right and focus in the right places. So they've got their thinking caps on.
Right.
They know it could be a bloodbath, so they're going to try and scavenge whatever entrails that they can get, whatever's left of the Tory party after it's been ravished, hopefully, by the electorate, I hope. If we look here, though, look at this. This is quite bombastic. We've got a bit of chariot action coming on. I'll just cover the boobies just in case the algorithm gets offended. So this could be a better than expected turnout for them. This suggests powerful moving forward. They're getting their ducks in a row. So it looks like they're getting their ducks in a row. Again, 2 major arcana. So it's suggesting that they will be impactful. This would also suggest to me they might do better than people expected. Yes. And then the outcome card is the King of Swords. So again, this is talking about the intellect, law, intelligence, etc. I also associate the King and Queen of Swords with things like accounting, budgeting, stuff like that. So I think they're going to run maybe quite an intelligent and incisive campaign that may surprise people in how well it does.
Interesting. We both got that at the end.
Yeah. So Lib Dems might not be too bad. Let's look at the SNP before we move on. The SNP.
And that is the Scottish National Party. And the thing with them, they've been plagued by scandals of husbands. Rogue husbands, you could say, have undermined the SNP.
Oh man, I mean the whole Nicola Sturgeon thing, it's like I think they're just going to be shooting her out of a cannon at some point like a circus act.
Okay, the SNP. Oh, I did a bit of shuffling and I got the devil card again.
Oh really? Let's see, what did I get? Oh, interesting. Okay, Lena, what did you get?
I think this could be what I was referring to, the totally avoidable personal corruption scandals, and the strong women have been held back by this. This is the Queen of Wands, so the next card is held back by this behavior. And going forward, I think they're a bit confused where to from here, because they'd done so well to claw their way as far as they did, because they were up against a lot of misinformation and stuff, which is everywhere these days. So I think this could be our disinformation card for now, couldn't it too? So misinformation and disinformation around them.
Interesting. The cards I've got for them were pretty cool. Oh look, someone here, Dorothy says, she says, no offense to anyone, I do really enjoy the two of you together on the video. You guys are great together. Thank you. That's really kind of you to say. And we can really get into the weeds, of course, of the politics stuff. You know, we're such political beasts, Lena and I. So SNP. Either way, look, this is a fast situation that could go out of their control. They may not be fully in control of what happens to them because of the scandals and all of this stuff. You know, Nicola Sturgeon's husband was been done for fraud and whatever. What was the other husband, Lena? I missed that one with the SNP.
Oh no, it was I can't remember the fine print now. But
you know, sketchy stuff. But either way, things move at a pace and maybe not in a way that they can control. You know, they're looking out, pondering, you know, remember the SNP was all about, you know, separating independent Scotland and all that kind of stuff, which have obviously has been kind of effectively kiboshed now. So that's probably gone to bed. But nonetheless, you know, I would say this is the SNP probably, you know, looking out at their future prospects, you know, trying to make more long-term plans in event of the election. However, look, the Wheel of Fortune as the outcome card. So what this says to me, they're not really in control of what happens. You can't have two cards like that turn up in a spread and expect to be in control. So they're kind of, I'm going to say, hostages to fortune.
Yes, that's a good way of summing it up.
Yeah, hostages to fortune. All right, there we are. Anything to add to that, Lena, before we move on? No. And let me just click up on some comments that, what was it? Oh no, I thought I saw something that I wanted to click on. Mind you, the chat's going at a rapid pace. What's this? Greetings from Pennsylvania.
Hi.
Thank you. And then someone's talking about meditation here. How Fatima, I was talking up morning meditation. You see, like the chat has a life of its own. So we've done the UK politics. Let's cross that off. Where's that? So we've done that. Oh, by the way, I've got to add my little theory of why the election has been called. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
gonna have to speak in code here, folks, and I can only say it once. Oh my God, that reminds me of Hello, Hello. Do you remember?
Yeah, yes, I remember.
Listen up, folks. I will only say this once. Yeah, but I'll only say it once. I believe an early election has been called because of you know who treaty ratification will happen automatically on May 27th. Tomorrow.
Oh.
Now, guess what happens when you call an election? Parliament has to be what? Dissolved.
Ah.
Yeah, you can't vote in or out, up or down when you're in an election. So there's that, and I also think as well, it might have something to do with a certain princess that we've not seen for a long time as well. Because have you heard? Apparently, the royals have called off all their duties. Yeah. Now, this never happens, folks. By the way, this is never
not happen.
Yeah. So when I look at all of that together, that's my little sixpence worth. But
yes,
food for thought there. Food for thought, because if the late Queen were alive, this would never happen. She's never called off trooping off the colour or whatever because there was an election. It's ridiculous anyway. So food for thought, folks. Put that in the teapot and give that a little stir. All right, so we're now moving on to the ICC, and then we're going to be getting into some Duck Larange, Walt Nauta, MAGA, and then Nikki Haley, and seeing what the Bard thinks of her. But this is, I thought, was a very important question that's come in. All right, so where is it? Here we are. So Ella Zoe and also Maria Sorial Hyro have asked a similar question. So it says, hi Hogarth and Lena. The ICC this week ordered Israel to halt its offensive on Rafah. However, both the USA and Israel have dismissed this. If the so-called superpower, they put in inverted commas, of the world is seen to ignore and dismiss as irrelevant a global institution such as the ICC, set up to hold countries who break agreed international law and crime to account, what example does it set for the rest of the world? Good question. Will it lead to global anarchy, or will the USA and others who follow be confronted by the world order to fall in line? Interesting, that, isn't it?
Yes, we'll have to have a look.
Have to have a look. And then to add Maria's part, she said, I would love to know what will happen. The ICC and ICJ have decided on a possible fate for Israel. What will be the consequences of Israel not abiding by those orders, or any country? So how do you think we should frame that, Lena? I want to run it through your legalese brain.
Right, okay. Okay, let me think about it. So let's look at the energy around the ruling and see what comes up for US and Israel on the other side.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because it's quite a big deal.
It really is.
And sending our love out to Lady G. She put out a video. She's putting them out regularly, and she put one out a couple of hours ago.
Oh,
she's
lovely.
The bravest human. Lots of love to Lady G.
Exactly. And I've been talking with her lots on WhatsApp as well. So we're in regular chat on WhatsApp. But I've been encouraging her with nutrition and stuff like that. So important. Supplements to help one recover. Organic food. It's as much can be afforded. All right. ICC energy around
the ruling.
America is
well,
what do you have, Lena?
Well, it starts weirdly with the Six of Wands, the victory charge, but rather than, there is no victory at this point for any of it's more leading the charge. So the international court being seen to be out there leading the way, right? However, the obstacle card is stinky fish in the form of this page. So it's not going to be received well. There's a lot of energy here around basically ignoring it by the US and Israel with both these cards. A lot of momentum in terms of, these are not cards of reflection or modifying behavior or anything like that. These are cards of just, no, we'll do it our way. But there's a sort of energy over this with the Empress card. It's, you know, the saying I've now adopted is things will get worse before they get worse, right? And I find it so applicable to so many political situations. And that's why astrology and other things are important, to give us some sort of longer view. Because short term, I think things are going to magnify with the Empress. I think it's also a case of, with the Ten of Pentacles, it's the end of a cycle with a 10, I think, for both Israel and the US in terms of the money and resources. It's got to be reinvented on the other side of this ruling. So even if both those parties refuse to abide by it, and like one of the questions was what's going to happen with the court, Pentacles are quite stable, and I think they're going to be more pressured than it appears straight away, and money talks. So people are threatening to withdraw money and resources could change the dynamic a bit.
Interesting, very interesting. And Laura Hammond saying, I love it when you guys get together. Thanks so much. And Sharon Donnelly says, tap the thumbs up button, everyone. Yes, thank you.
Yes, those thumbs.
Indeed, those thumbs. And of course, please don't forget to also like and subscribe if you've not done yet, to support the channel. Be much appreciated. And if you've not liked and subscribed Lena's channel yet, she is in the video description below. But I'm sure you're already subscribed to her already, but you never know.
You never know who's out there watching as we speak for the first time. HoGaLe's virgins.
What an idea, my goodness, my goodness. Well, they don't stay chaste for long, I would say, with this show. So the ICC, this is quite complex cards I've got here, Lena and folks, quite complex. Yeah, they're saying a lot here. First of all, here we are, we've got the Magician. So this is the ICC expressing its temporal power, using every tool it has in the book in its power as it was designed to do. They've clearly thought about this. They understand that this is a major deal because, of course, Netanyahu is now wanted for war crimes, along with the Hamas people as well. So do you see, that's quite company to be keeping, isn't it? So they understand that this is a big deal, but they feel it is time. They said the evidence is overwhelming. The ICC don't just throw these things out. It's because they have strong belief that, you know, war crimes have been committed. Yeah, but this is them exercising their power. But what is the obstacle? Look at the obstacle card here in the 5-card spread. Partnership. Maybe it's that partnership, yeah, between the two countries. Yeah, you can see here they are. So it's like a marriage, it's a relationship, it's, you know, the funding, etc., and stuff like that, which is, in this instance, as we know, the 5-card spread, the second card is always the obstacle card. Not always, but usually is. However, if we look in the middle, we got the 5 of Pentacles. It's just not a good look. So what I would say is this: if either country defies it will further impoverish the state of the concept of truth and justice around the world, because it's with the ICC, they're basically saying no country and no leader is above the law. So of course, if there is defiance, or if this relationship is put ahead of the law, then the law is going to appear impoverished to everyone, because if people can't be held accountable for what there is mounting evidence of, then what's the point? What's the point of having these courts at all? We may as well just make our own rules. Yeah, what are they looking at? Surprise, surprise, an abuse of power. This is the card we see here, the Five of Swords, back again with the vicious conflict, where it's so bad the other two have walked away. We saw it come up for the Tories, but this time, of course, it's literally coming up in this context of war. So that can be literally talking about, you know, war crimes, stuff like that. But look at the outcome card. Ooh, we have the Nine of Pentacles.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, for me, this is a complex one. On one level, this on one level, I think it could be that a certain country might feel that they're untouchable. Yeah, because this is the card of having absolutely everything you need, being unconcerned. You have everything. America, from what I understand, hasn't signed up to the ICC, and I don't think Israel is part of it.
No, Israel hasn't either. No.
So there might be an element here of just like, well, can't touch, can't touch. We're you know, we're good and stuff like that. So I think this is more about the attitude, and I think it's maybe more of a laissez-faire one. Also, as well, you had the members of the GOP as well. Let's not forget, actually write to the ICC. Do you remember that one? They actually signed a letter. Oh, yeah, they signed a letter and they threatened the people of the ICC. And they also said that their families wouldn't be able to enter America as well if they were to rule against. So this says to me as well, a sense of entitlement, I think, is there as well. Why else would that card show up in this context, particularly next to an abuse of power? So they might just be like, meh, but it's not going to be good for international law, folks, if that is the response, sadly. Well, all right. Are you ready for the next question, Nina?
Yes, and a quick happy birthday to Kevin, the healing medium.
Ah, happy birthday, Kevin. Happy birthday. All right. So here, actually, as number 4, we've got Nikki Haley.
Oh,
I mean, we almost need some kind of theme tune, some kind of scuzzy theme tune.
Well, I refer to her as the Girl Scout with the Uzi, right?
Yeah.
That's her. Dreadful creature.
Yeah. As you guys know, we've not held back on our feelings for Nikki Haley. I've always seen her as a turncoat, like a political weather vane, just blowing in whichever direction is most expedient for her. I've never felt she's had. I mean, I knew that she would do well in terms of the runoff, and she would give Donald Trump a run for his money. That's what I said. But when we looked at further cards, it was like it's not true. It wasn't genuine. I can't remember. We read on it months ago, and it was about Nikki Haley. And I remember the cards coming up saying it's not a genuine opposition, and it seemed a little bit surprising at the time, because at the time she was saying Trump's this, Trump's that, but the cards were saying no, it's not genuine. And of course, she's revealed her true colors.
And it could also be the opposite, which is just as convoluted, which is that is what she really thought and chose to sell out again. You know what I mean? Like, she's been in a room with the man. She knows how inept and vulgar and vile and awful he is.
Sure.
So this top weight GOP people still bootlicking, it's just hideous.
It's just ridiculous. So Melody Fraser said Nikki Haley knows that the orange won't make it to the convention, and she already has some votes, or so she thinks. Maybe.
That's entirely possible, because she has aspirations. And then she can pretend she's been the loyalist all along. I had to say that in the early stages.
Exactly. You never know. She might make Donald Trump a special cup of tea or Coca-Cola or something, or special gherkins in the next burger that he eats. Who knows? So Nick Mink says, and in US politics, why has Nikki Haley sold her soul to the devil? Well, it was already sold, I think. Do the cards show the motivation for her two-faced endorsement? So let's read on that, and then we'll see what the bard has to say about this woman.
So what's really going on with Nikki?
Yeah, what's really going on? There's probably several sub-games with her.
And the problem is, particularly if you're a conservative, she seems really reasonable. And that is so scary to me because she's not reasonable. She's an absolute hawk. So what's going on for Nikki Haley?
Indeed. Let's see what's going on.
Well, this is interesting. Speaking of out of both sides of her mouth, ultimately the card of compromise. She's talking to everyone behind the scenes and nodding in all the right places. But this card, the Justice card, I think in a way is her. She actually thinks she should be the first female president of the United States. That is her actual aim, I think. And she's prepared to use every tool in the box to get it and change shape. The magician is also a shapeshifter. And she appears to be wide-eyed and just what's good for America, and yet she can back the Yeti, which shows how treacherous she is. I'd have infinitely more respect for her or anyone else who said, no, I stand by what I said, but no. Anyway, this is her convinced that this is sort of destined for her. But we don't know, and we won't know what her real agenda is in that sense. And this is also hinting she's a bit nuttier than she appears.
Bit nuttier. I've always thought that. Yeah.
And I think she's one of those people you could know her for 25 years and you wouldn't know her at all.
She'd flip on you. Yeah. Very interesting. My cards are saying similar things. So here we are. 8 of Wands is back again. So look, she's having every single stick thrown at her, right now.
Yeah.
This is the flack. This is the flack that she's getting for her hypocrisy and her turncoat stuff. But I mean, come on, really, is it really a surprise? I mean, we have been saying on this channel for a while that you cannot trust her as far as you can throw her. There's nothing that genuine that comes out of her mouth. It may have looked good for a while, and it might be like the Stepford wife is not quite right. But you know what you were saying, Lena, about she's like the Girl Scout leader that seems sane. Seems sane. But look at the obstacle card, and this I think is actually saying more about her. We get the High Priestess. And the moon. So she is scheming away. She's got plots within plots. She's a dodgy character. I mean, normally when we're talking about ordinary people, of course, this is actually can be quite a decent card. But in this case, we're not. Here, she's bringing all the shadows. So this is the manipulation, the gaslighting, the saying whatever needs to be said. What this also shows as well, there are plans that she has for Duck L'Orange that not even Duck L'Orange has figured out. When you get the High Priestess here, we're talking about someone who's really got a lot of machinations going on. And if we weren't sure, here she is making her plans at her kitchen table, coming up with her little moves on the chessboard. And she's like, well, you know what? I'm going to take the flak for now because in my strategy that no one really knows what I'm up to, what I've planned at my dining table here at home, she thinks is going to propel her forward. Propel her forward to her desires, what she truly wants, which of course is to be president. So I think in the comments when we that we clicked up where she said, what is it? Here, where Medley Fraser said Nikki Haley knows that the orange won't make it to the convention and she already has some vote, or so she thinks. This would this is a lady that, you know, that reckons she's got a few tricks up her sleeve. Yeah. So she'll take the flak for now, and she's gonna try and charge forward with her plans. But then look, Lena, she gets the Hanged Man as the outcome. So as clever as she thinks she is, there is going to be something that's going to make her change her perspective and maybe halt her plans, because this isn't a fast card, as you can imagine. Yeah?
That's right.
Not very quick, is it? You can't travel very far when you've got one leg looped.
One leg tied to a tree, which is Trump being alive.
Absolutely. So yes, she does have plans. Whether or not she'll be able to execute them as well as she would like, but something pauses her.
Yes, and she's one of those women like Amy Coney Barrett or whatever her name is in the Supreme Court, who have huge professional lives themselves, but will vote to repress other women.
Oh, yeah.
They'll vote against women every day of the week.
Yeah, which is just terrible. It's terrible. Shall we see what the Bard has to say about Nikki Haley? All right. So
now we've got to remember with the Bard, he mainly talks about men. So we'll see if there's a gender thing here.
Indeed. Let's see. So closing my eyes and you tell me where to stop. And then...
Ready, stop.
Oh. Oh wait, okay. This one's already come in. I've seen one that's already come in. Oh wait, these are repeated. Let's go again. Let's go again.
Okay. Ready. Stop.
All right, here we go. Oh, this is it. This is really interesting. Okay, so this is coming from Macbeth, and it says here, "Thou cream-faced loon."
Oh.
Yeah, where got that goose look? So yeah, so thou cream-faced loon. So that means loon.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah, where got's that goose look? And then on the next page it said, "I could come near your beauty with my nails. I'd set my 10 commandments in your face."
Oh wow.
Oh, I think that's really quite a juicy one. The Henry VI, Part 2. I'll read that again. "I could come near your beauty with my nails. I'd set my 10 commandments in your face." So I think, the Bard is really struck there.
No, I think the Bard has spoken.
Yeah. I mean, that sums her up.
In the comments, Wheezy says, yes, like Queen Victoria, who was against women getting the vote. That's exactly right. Most powerful woman in the world, but no one else. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. She was a bit competitive, that Queen Victoria. When her daughter became the Tsarina of Russia, she had a chat with the Prime Minister Disraeli, and she was like, "You need to make me Empress or something."
Give me a bigger title.
Yeah, because her daughter had become the Tsarina. So
she had a few personal flaws. No.
Just one or two. All right. Are you ready for the next question, Lena?
Yes.
Now, this is an interesting one, and let's see how we do on this one here. So this is coming from Sarah Hellis. She says, "Hi, Hoagie and Lena. There was a nearly 8-minute standing ovation by a shocked audience this past week at the Cannes Film Festival for the latest Duck L'Orange biopic called The Apprentice. I had no idea. This film takes place in the 1980s and is focused, pardon me, on his relationship with Ivana and frightening mentor Roy Cohn. Of course, the filmmakers have received a cease and desist letter from the Duck L'Orange camp to block its further release. What role will this and other revealing movies about him, his administration, and his overall impact play?
All right, let's have a look.
Let's do a read on this film.
Do we have a title of the film?
Apparently it's called The Apprentice, which is the same as the reality show, wasn't it?
Well, not much reality going on. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I think that's what he's done to politics. He's turned it into a reality TV show.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
The movie. What impact will it have? I mean, near 8 minutes standing ovation. My goodness.
It must have something going for it if it got that sort of response.
Exactly.
Okay, I can take off now if you like. I think the film itself does this too, Duck L'Orange.
Wow. Wow.
And followed by the tower. Look at this. So, in other words, it completely dismembers the fantasy and does all that. The problem is who will actually watch it. Because its message, the problem with the message is it's people, I suspect, who already don't like the Yeti who will relish the film, and other people won't see it, who are on board, so to speak. But it'll do well if it can get out from under these legal suits. They were clever setting it in the 80s. I think it could be a bonanza for a small film.
And the cards I've got are interesting as well. So here we got the Six of Swords, wanting to move to smoother waters. I think this is Duck L'Orange, to be honest, just going, oh God, something else. Something else, because he must be feeling tired by now. And I've seen him, and he's starting to look a bit worn. Have you noticed? A little bit gone, a little bit worn.
Yes.
And I'm thinking he's just like, oh my goodness, because if there's one thing that Duck L'Orange or Trump pays attention to is attention. When things get attention, he pays attention, particularly when it's attention about him. So the fact that they've already bothered to put a cease and desist out there already shows that it is on his radar. If we look here, I think it's going to cause him a bit of concern and a bit of a headache and stuff like that. But again, I think it's just like Lena says, those that are already for Trump, and of course that is their choice as well. I try and respect everybody's political choice, regardless. But I think it is given Trump, a pause for concern. When they start making films about you in Cannes and stuff, that's kind of hard to ignore. The film could have a bit of energy to it. Yeah, it could do well. So here we've got the Knight of Wands, so showing energy, passion, wanting to go forward, make an impact. And then we have, look here, Ace, Sword of Truth, which kind of, but again, this is a very sharp, it punctures the illusion as well.
Yes.
What do you call it, Lena? The cutting through the BS card, isn't it? Yes. I think that's what you said. So here, I think this is what the film does. Anyone who still has any illusions about Trump, it just cuts through it. And then here, so we've got the Fool card here. So again, I think what this says to me is, I think the film slices through anyone that might still be naive about Trump. That's how I'm interpreting that.
Right.
But also as well, it shows the film does have potential as well. It's like a leap of faith, etc. For me, with these two together, this is about slicing through potential naivety or people that are not wanting to look. Yeah, they're just looking up here. They're not wanting to see.
Look
but
at the
this
ground.
film shatters it. It seems, slices through that. So it's probably a good watch.
Yeah, they might end up having to change the name. That could be an issue.
Yeah, because it being called The Apprentice is like,
I can see why they went with it, but that's probably going to cause them legal grief. And so we should keep an eye out for it as a film under another name. I wouldn't mind suggesting.
And that could also be that leap of faith as well. The full card, you know, changing it, you know, having a go. Shall we squeeze one more in? There was someone asking if Nauta will flip, but I think we've read on that before.
Yeah.
This one's interesting here. So this is coming from Nick Minks again. We see you haven't. Okay, she's quoting here, and it starts out with this. It says, "We see you haven't voted yet. Your voting record is public. A recent mailer to Texas Republicans says, your neighbors are watching and will know if you miss this critical runoff election. We will notify President Trump if you don't vote. You can't afford to have that on your record." End of quote.
What?
And she's written here, wow, will this kind of threat force people in Texas to vote for Trump? I think that was the bit, and then it went.
That's horrifying, isn't it?
It is. It is,
While
isn't
we're
it?
shuffling on that, I think I'd like to read out this comment from Chuck Hepner. Thanks, Chuck. And he says, every dictator in history was nothing but the accentuation of already existing state ideas, and he only has to exaggerate in order to gain power. And it's a quote from Willem Reich. So in other words, the GOP were already deeply, permanently racist, misogynistic, closet authoritarians.
Yeah.
And he was able to bring all that out to the front and center. You know.
Yeah. But also to turn it into, I think, with his cunning, you remember I'm always saying he's got reptilian cunning, and what he's been able to do to turn it all into a reality TV show. It's kind of macabre and over the top, isn't it? It's like everyone is playing an overblown character. If you think of someone like a Marjorie Taylor Greene, or, you know, these characters, these oddballs.
They're cartoons.
Yeah.
So threats for Texas voters.
Threats for Texas voters.
Let's have a look on these threats.
And it sort of gives the impression that it's not dangerous. Do you know what I mean? It gives the impression, oh, it won't be so bad. It can't really be that bad. And it's like, oh, maybe it could.
Well, I've got interesting cards on this. I think that it's not going to have the desired effect of scaring people. People are going to get these emails or letters or whatever they are and go, who are you? I think it's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Like, because there's something about it that people don't like, even if they would have been Trump voters. You know, there's something in it that people don't respond to. It could actually reinforce the Dems in some way. I think it's quite a positive thing. I know this sounds bizarre. Excuse me, croaking. It's going to make people think twice, not in the way they think, oh, I'm scared. It's like going to have a repellent effect.
Yeah.
And although I'm sure they've got enough gerrymandering and vote rigging that was standard in the South in so many places, I think this is going against them, not for them.
Third time tonight, Lena, you've pulled that.
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
Mm.
Wow.
Mm.
Very, very interesting. Yes, and we've got 1,482 of you with us now. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, and please don't forget as well to like and subscribe and share. Click the bell notification, and if you can't donate, then watch an ad. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, kind of complex again. Two kings here, bookending my reading. So straight off the bat here, I think now look, what are wands all about? Passion, yeah, passion. And in general, of course, it's not always gender always assigned, but this says to me, you know, the ones who are writing this stuff are, you know, passionate MAGA files, yeah, basically, who believe in Trump and as the entrepreneur and all of this ideas and this kind of stuff like that. So it's coming from this lot, from this cohort of the electorate, let's say. I think that's fair, which is most likely probably male, yeah, male and angry. Yeah, male and angry, I think is fair. If we look here, we can see in the obstacle position too much emotion. It's just all over the top. It's just all too intense. But also as well, it shows that whoever's writing this stuff, they're very intense people. It's like they're volcanic in a way. For me, when I look at these two together, it's like hot water, fire and water, boiling, steam, heat. But look, will it work? Oh, I don't think it will. I think it's going to turn people off, to be honest.
Yes,
it's going to turn people off. So. You know, irrespective of what people like to make up their own minds when it
comes they think they're making up their own minds.
Exactly. So I think this strategy is gonna backfire. Here we've got the Page of Pentacles here. And again, I think this is just to kind of raise a little bit of fundraising where he can, you know, ring it out, because the pages are court cards, but they're the lesser court cards. So again, there's always a bit of a grift or a bit of a fundraising attempt here. So I think, you know, it's like, you know, Trump trying to wring, you know, wine out of a slipper. Do you know what I mean? Any kind of thing. And it's a little fundraising attempt. But look here, we got the King of Cups here, which we know we associate very often with Biden. I'm not sure how much he's sneaking in on this one, but you know, maybe he does make an impact in some kind of way, or is able to soften the message, or maybe this is Biden creeping in terms of the debates. Don't you reckon, Lena? Because it's bookended, yeah. So that could be Trump.
I see what you mean.
Biden. So I'm thinking that if I look at it from that way, it's trying to address the intense emotions of the electorate. A lot of people are obviously feeling upset, but it's like Biden needs to talk about the economy as well. Yes. I think it's become the debate, because who else could these two kings be? Yeah. So
and it also says somebody must be worried, or they wouldn't be bothering in Texas to be sending out this stuff.
Yeah. I think I remember you saying, Lena, like sometimes you ask the cards a specific question and they give you something rounder on something else. And I think the debate has come through. Yeah. It's the debate. That has to be King of Wands will be obviously Trump. That has to be Biden.
Yeah. Oh my God! Well, that's flown by.
It's flown by. So we've gone over a little bit, but thank you, guys, so much.
And thanks for hanging in. Yeah.
Thanks. Exactly. Thanks for hanging in. Thank you as well for your donations as well. I'll just yes. Who else? Oh gosh, look, there's another one here. Thank you, Nicholas. I don't have time to read out your message because it's near the end. And thank you as well, Michelle Forbes. That's quite a funny thing. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you, of course, next week. Thoughts and prayers out, as well as healing prayers as well to Lady G as well, so that she can make a full recovery and join us soon. We miss you. We want you back.
Yes, got to come back. And next week, I should be coming to you from Brazil.
Oh, pardon. Jet setting. So that's going to be exciting. I look forward to those stories. So guys, we will see you soon. Please don't forget, of course, to like and subscribe and share, etc. All of that stuff. And of course, if you're interested in books and all those kind of things, it's all linked below, as well as Lena's channel. And it's a bye-bye for now, and we'll see you soon. Mwah! Big love.
Ciao,
All right,
everyone.
ciao.